Okay, good morning, everyone. It is Tuesday morning, and we're here for a core barre class. We're going to start on the ground, though, just to get warmed up with our breathing and just to get some movement in the spine and in the hips. And then pretty quickly we'll come to standing, where we'll finish the remainder of the workout. So you're going to want to have obviously a place to lie on the ground, a ball or block for between the inner thighs or knees. And I suggest a flex band. Not strictly necessary, but nice for some of the shoulder warm up. When you've got your stuff, go ahead and lie down on your mat. You can have a little blanket under the back of your head as well. Just make your head and neck comfortable. And we'll get rolling there. Make sure that my mat is indeed in the stream. There we are. Okay. So go ahead and lie down. I suggest starting with knees bent right off the bat. And of course, you can put the ball in between the knees as well. We're going to use it more specifically and intentionally as we get through the remainder of the warm up. For now, though, just hold the ball. Don't feel like you have to squeeze it. Do use it as kind of a prop for the weight of the legs. And then place your hands on your low belly. The first couple of breaths, focus mainly on relaxing and without pressing against the floor, fall back into it. Right? A kind of subtle but extremely important distinction. We fall back into the floor and feel the creases of the hips softening, the bottoms of the feet spreading, the ankles releasing, the bottom of the ribs expanding outward with the inhales, and gently falling inward with the exhales, right? Moving along with the action of the diaphragm. Feel also the chest rising and falling as you inhale and exhale. And relax the weight of your arms. With your hands on your low belly, of course, you can feel the breath in that area of your body as well. We have 2 more rounds of breath in and out to complete this process of resting into ground and tuning into the rhythm of the breath. We'll inhale now. And this time, as you exhale, very lightly squeeze the inner thighs. Reference your big toes and inhale. And when you exhale again, so lightly squeeze the inner thighs, not triggering the lower back or the front of the hips, and certainly not the neck or the shoulders. Inhale, feel your big toes. Then, of course, if you need to adjust the feet or shuffle around as the process proceeds, that's fine. 2 more breaths out like this. Noticing that when you exhale and engage the inner thighs, we get a little response in and across pelvic floor. And of course, we want to feel like we're all stretched out along the ground and supported here, a light toning through the sides of the waist, deep under the surface. On the inhale breath, draw that Kegel support at the bottom of the pelvis up into the body. And then continue on the exhale as before, building stepwise as we almost always do. Kegel grounding the inhale moving downward, sides of the ribs gently flaring outward. And then exhale, squeezing the ball, the ribs relax inward. We lengthen, we feel pelvic floor response. 1 more of these, inhaling and exhaling. Continue this into movement through the lower spine. On the next exhale, we'll imprint layering that movement onto all of the other connections and integrating them. Hold the imprint and inhale, lifting the Kegel inward. And then exhale, return to a neutral low spine posture. So the lumbar curve returns. Front of the pelvis levels with the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, repeat imprint. And then on the following exhale, return to neutral. Please do 2 more of these. Exhaling and imprinting and identifying the line down into the feet. Hold imprint, feel your big toes as you inhale. And then on your exhale, return to neutral, allowing the pelvis to articulate with the femurs through your hip joints. Please do 1 more round, exhaling into imprint. Inhale, stay in imprint, maybe opening and closing your jaws. And then exhale, return to neutral. Grab your flex band if you've got it handy. There it is. And extend your arms forward to the ceiling. We just rolled through the hips a little bit. Now we're going to roll, in essence, through the shoulders. We'll stabilize the spine and have an exhale in place, finding the squeeze between the inner thighs, the length in the posture. Kegel and inhale. And now on the exhale, reach both arms back, essentially into an overhead position, rotating the arms through the axis of the shoulders. Inhale, hold, and exhale, return. So again, moving only on the exhale breath, we layer this over all the core connections. And as you reach back, eliminate pressure from the base of the neck and from the length of your spine. Find the shoulder blades, exhaling to return. And please do 2 more of these. Exhale to reach the arms back, allowing the bottom points of the shoulder blades to widen apart from each other. And then when you exhale, return, the shoulder blades reintegrate at the bottom points. We do 1 more repetition, please. When you return from this one, please bring the arms all the way down along your sides, keeping hold of the flex band. Widening the chest, find the connection between the shoulder blades beneath you. Prepare for a shoulder bridge here. Inhaling, and on the next exhale, press the hips forward and reach the arms back. Standing on your feet, feel firmly grounded here. Inhale, hold the reach, hold the bridge, and exhale, return. So we're keeping a neutral spine and we're simply extending and then flexing at the hips as we extend and flex at the shoulders. Eliminate any pressure from the base of the neck or the length of your spine. Feel the grounding of the shoulder blades and the feet. And keep connecting intentionally to the core elements of your breath. 2 more repetitions, please. Almost there, hang on. 1 more to go. Now, when you've lowered your hips and your arms, go ahead and put the ball off to the side and hug your knees to your chest. Hug your knees in, keep them side by side rather than crossed or twisted, and just rock a little side to side. You can make any other motions with the low back and the hips that feel good. I'd like you to end in an imprinted position and then squeeze the inner thighs together and place the legs in tabletop without lifting the low back or the bottom of the ribs. We keep the tailbone on the mat and extend the arms about halfway back to 45 degrees. Bend the elbows, widen the chest, connecting across the back of the shoulder blades. Support the back of your head in your hands, point your toes. Inhale with the head on the mat, nod your chin to your chest, and on your exhale, bend forward, pulling from the bottom of the ribs, lifting the upper back. Inhale, lower halfway or most of the way back down, but don't settle your weight. We're going to continue with pulsed ab prep. Each exhale, as the sides of the ribs draw inward, pull them downward. And inhale, allow expansion and opening through the front of the body as you lower your head. Please do 3 more. Let go of tension from the length of your spine and the base of your neck, but keep, I guess, connection or relationship across the back of the shoulder blades that allows the top of the chest to remain open. 1 more, please. And then exhale, let your upper body settle entirely to the mat. Place your hands down by your sides with the palms up. Take a breath and exhale, lower your left foot to the mat. Keep your imprint. Exhale, lower your right foot. And then inhale, return to neutral. Stretch your left leg down against the mat. We do just 3 hip release through the right side before getting up. On the inhale breath, drop the right knee out to the side and slide the foot down. On the exhale, roll it inward and pull it up. 2 more in this outward circling direction. It should feel nice in the hip. Let go of tightness or holding in the low back. It's better, honestly, to have a little bit of rocking left and right. After the third one, reverse the direction of circling as you continue with the same leg. We inhale to do the first half of the movement and exhale to complete it. When you finish with both directions, that first leg, settle the bottom of the foot to ground and bend the extended leg as well. And then all we do is change positions. So now the other leg stretches down the mat and stabilizes here. And then on the inhale, new knee drops out to the side away from the midline before stretching down. Exhale, roll inward and pull the heel up. That's the job of the hamstrings, not the neck. Do a total of 3, please. Reversing after 3. Inhale, knee drops inward, leg slides down. Exhale, turn outward from the top of the thigh and bend your knee to pull the heel up. Anchored into the bottom of the ribs, no need to pull the leg with the shoulder blades. And then when you've finished your last one, bend both knees. Take the knees off to one side, both to the same side without force. And then off to the other side, allowing a little swiveling in the hips. Do that 1 more time, and then we roll off to the side and come to standing, get the mat out of the way. Okay. So get the mat out of the way, and you'll want to bring your flex band as well as your ball with you. I'm going to move the camera around, so you'll have to pardon me while I fiddle with it. Once you've got space for working out, here I am. I didn't leave. Um, you can go ahead and start walking through the feet. Okay, let's lift this up a little bit. Okay. Ah, there I am. Okay, so we're walking through the feet, and you can, of course, face your bar. We're doing this little treading side to side. Yeah. So this is a nice stretch for the ankles, for the toe hinges, and also beginning to look at the ability to stand on one leg, right? Which we do all the time when we're walking. So if you're a walker, a skier, or a hiker, right, that skill is one that you want to be well practiced in. Do a couple more times across the sides, please. And then when you've done that walking across the sides an equal number of times, take your right leg back and lunge. Now, when you hold the lunge, you're going to want to put weight in this front leg rather than having it crashing into the neck. So you might want to even check, well, if I was in this lunge and just supporting myself without my hands, would I be stable? All right, once you've confirmed that, you can go ahead and place your hands down if that just feels a little less anxious making. And nod the head, yes. Come to a neutral position through the head and turn it no, looking right and left just once. And then back foot steps forward. And then we put the new foot back in the lunge. Bend into the front knee, and then we're tracking it toward the center of the foot. And then do that little test. Okay. So what do I need to do to really hold myself up? And to hold myself up from my center, think of the area between the pelvis and the ribs. Again, any movements that you want to do with the head or even with the shoulders, you go ahead and do. And then back foot steps forward. We put the ball between the knees. Stand with the ball between your knees or at some point in the inner thighs. I like knees because it's a little wobbly and makes me work a little harder to coordinate across the sides. And then look down and ensure that your feet are roughly pointing forward. A little lateral rotation is fine, but with the toes lengthening forward and not scrunching. And then we'll exhale and give it that very light squeeze to the ball again. Inhale, reference your big toes as you lift pelvic floor muscles inward, upward. And then exhale, engage inner thighs. Feel the connection in pelvic floor, the lengthening up and down from your feet to your crown. One more inhale and one more exhale. Feet settling, arches lifted. And then on the next inhale breath, bend your knees. And of course, you can have hand or hands on your support. Relax your ankles. And on your exhale, straighten your legs. Pretty straightforward version of our squats or plies. Inhale, bend your knees. And exhale, stretch your legs. Do one more of these. And if you find that you're feeling pretty steady in your balance, we'll add an arm movement as an option. We'll have the palms facing inward toward each other. And if you're adding the arms, as you inhale, bend the knees, reach the arms forward, fingertips stretching away from the shoulders. Exhale, lower your arms and open the chest. Inhale. We're halfway through. And exhale. 3 more, please. I'm going to let someone in the room, pardon me. Ideally, we've done or are doing our 8th one. And then pause for a moment. You can find your balance support. And we have a breath in and out where we re identify specifically with the core cueing, the kegel, the inner thighs, the lengthening. And then with a little bit of support, one hand on the front of the pelvis will inhale and lift the heels. Avoid pushing your belly forward into your hands to lift. Instead, lift directly up through the line of the inner thighs with your kegel. And as you exhale, reach the heels down. Keep your toes long and stretched against the floor. A total of 8. Inhale up. And as you exhale and lower your heels, you're going to need to double down on the lower abs and the glutes. Heels lower and our weight is carried downward and backward. We want to stabilize the upright position of the pelvis as we do that little translation in space. We're halfway through. Working through your set of 8. 2 more. Land the heels this last time. And then inhale, plie. Keep the heels on the ground. We have a neutral posture. Just remind yourself of that. And here with the heels on the ground, we're going to exhale and squeeze the ball, re-identifying inner thighs, our length, along with pelvic floor, even in this more open position across the bottom of our base. On the next exhale, pulse downward. So we're opening into stretch across the base of the hips. Inhale, come up a little bit. Exhale as you stretch across the base of the pelvis. Keep pelvic floor and inner thighs. Inhale, reference big toes. And as you rise, lift pelvic floor. Pulsing downward, we go, let's do 4 more from here. Now at this point, let's keep our gaze neutral. So you're looking at the ground essentially. 1 more pulse. Now listen, on the inhale breath, we're going to pick up our heels, keep the knees bent, and shift our gaze as our spine becomes vertical. So now we're looking directly ahead. Exhale, stretch the legs. Inhale, lower the heels. Exhale, bending into the knees in a reversal of what we did initially. Inhale as you lift the heels, feel the change in space at the position of your spine, and then exhale, stretch it up and down. Inhale, lower. Please do 6 more. Quite a few. Keep with it, you guys. One more, please. And lower. Put the ball off to the side. And then go ahead and shake or stretch out your legs. So stand on both feet for a moment without the ball between the legs. And we're going to lift and lower this right leg. It is pretty simple, really. We want to feel both feet into the ground. And on the inhale breath, transfer weight over to the left leg and peel the right foot off the floor. On the exhale, put that foot down. We continue on the right side. In a moment, we'll take this in a different direction. Inhale, lift the right foot up, and exhale, put the right foot down. So we're only going to do 6 of these. Feel the transferring of the balance to the inner thigh of the standing leg. And then feel that moment when the balance is shared between both sides, referencing the big toe and lengthening through the heel. Last 2. Last 1. And then shake out your arms. We're going to go directly into the other side. So we do 6, where we feel the transferring 2 to 1, 1 to 2. Get your bearings with both feet under you. Head over heart, over hips, over the feet. Prepare with an exhale as you stretch through the line. Inhale, reference your big toes, and peel the left foot now, the other foot up off the ground. Exhale, stretch, reach through the heel, weight in both legs. Inhale, lift. And if you can, especially since you know now what we're doing, keep your gaze on the horizon rather than looking at the screen or looking down or up. Let your head rest easily on top of the spine instead of straining to stay upright. Last 2, please. When both feet are on the ground, go ahead and exhale, bend deeply into the knees and hips. Extend the arms forward. Stretch. And then come to standing. You probably want your countertop at this point, or your bar. And of course, you can have both hands on if you prefer. We're going to move into, let's find the ball. I knew something didn't feel right. We're going to move into the 4-stage movement that continues from releve rather than plie or squat. So find both feet underneath you, have a breath in and a breath out, feeling the inner thighs, feeling the Kegel support. And then on your next inhale, no drama for the head, you lift the heels up, pressing the pelvis upward, but not swaying the back forward. And on the next exhale, bend through the knees. Track the knees forward toward the centers of the feet. Inhale, as you place your heels down, you're going to adjust the angle of your torso, and exhale, straighten upward. Inhale, rise, pelvic floor lifting. Exhale, slide down your wall. Inhale, plant your heels, firm your core, and exhale, stretch your legs. Please do 6 more.
Joyce, would you
Head
mind
floor.
turning sideways so we could see the angle of your body on that?
Uh-huh.
Thank you.
Rising. No, I'm glad you mentioned it. Not at all. Heels lifted as you slide down your wall. Angle adjusting so you can put your heels down, and then stretch. 3 more. Inhale up. Exhale, sliding down. Heels still lifted. Inhale and exhale. Last 2. And I'll tell you guys, I've got a ring light on my holiday list. So hopefully the lighting will be a little bit better shortly. Well, one way or the other. 1 more, please. Now slide down your wall and stay. And so we've got our neutral posture, knees tracking forward. I know you've assumed that, and you'll feel it because you've got the ball. Try to relax the front of the ankles and the toe hinge where the toes join the ball of the foot. Let's squeeze the ball and exhale, re-engage through inner thighs into pelvic floor. Inhale, find pelvic floor lift, and then exhale, pulse downward. 1, 2, we're going for 8 times. 3, soften the sacrum. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Inhale, lower your heels, adjusting the angle. And then exhale, stretch your legs. Put the ball off to the side, please. All right. So for the next thing, we're gonna do a stretch for the quads. I'll try and stay in the screen here. Stand on your left leg. Go ahead and pick your right leg up from the outside. And you can hold your foot or your ankle, or if you don't reach your foot or your ankle, you can put a flex band around your foot, right? And hold it that way. That way, yeah. So holding however you're holding, line it up through your standing leg, all right? Head, heart, hips, standing leg. And we're gonna pulse backward through the side that's lifted, opening the hip into extension. Exhale, inhale, release. Gently exhale back. Inhale, release. Just 6 times. It's not a ballistic stretch by any means. And we're certainly not pulling into a feeling of strain. We're using the glutes to open the front of the hip. Again, it's that active, isolated stretching I was referring to the other day. One more. And then put the foot down and shake out your standing leg. We go directly to the other side. So picking up the other leg, however is best, maybe with a flex band, maybe just with your hand. Square it off. Oh, hey, it's snowing, you guys. It's really pretty. All right, we get our bearings over our standing leg. And then on an exhale breath, begin to contract the glutes in a way that pulls the thigh bone to the back of the body. And of course, I'm talking about hip extension. 6 of these. The weight of the foot supported by the hand, the shoulder, but the movement of the leg and the hip mediated by the glutes. Last 2. And ideally, you should be able to keep your balance here because you're standing upright. Put the foot down and shake it out. Okay, find your flex band, please. Now, if you're fortunate enough to have differing colors or differing strengths of flex band, make sure that you use the one that's will give you challenge, but is not going to cause you to work with incorrect technique. All right. So accepting the fact that you may very well be able to pull one of those gold flex bands with your biceps, you might back off a little bit so that you can isolate the biceps apart from the shoulders and the neck. We're going to stand on the flex band. We hold the tails of the flex band in the hands, and you can choke up so that's even if you didn't stand evenly. And on an exhale breath, we bend the elbows. Inhaling to lengthen the elbows. I'd like you to do a set of 10. Now, the idea here is that as you bend the elbows, the shoulders are going to be stable in a way that doesn't cause them to lift up off of the ribs every time we bend the elbows, but nor do they want to press down commonly into the back of the neck. And that's the reason why a lighter flex band is sometimes a better choice. I'm guessing we probably have 3 or 4 more left. I'm going to do 2 more. and then pause. Okay. So I'll give you a little bit of a side view. You recall at the beginning of class, we did our squats and we potentially extended our arms forward. Hopefully now our balance is good enough that we can challenge it a little bit as we extend the arms forward against the resistance of the band. And I would suggest taking your hands as far toward the end of the band as possible. We're going to breathe here and exhale. Bend into the knees, extend the arms forward. Inhale, stretch the legs. And this too is a reversal of our original breathing pattern. Exhale, bend into the knees, reach the arms forward, sink the hips down. And inhale, straighten. Go for 8, please. Last couple. Pause and step off of your flex band. Shake out your arms a little bit. We're just going to loosen up the shoulders here with the band before moving on to the dumbbells. Okay. So a little wider grip with the flex band. We're going to take the arms up and potentially behind the back. So the ability to stretch the arms wider apart is important. I'm going to kneel so you can see my arms. You're standing. We'll inhale, lift the arms up, rotating them in their sockets. Pull wide and exhale, pass the arms down, flex band behind the back. Inhale, reaching wide, the bottom points of the shoulder blades spreading, continuing to spread. And then as the arms come down, shoulder blades returning to their neutral resting point. Please do 2 more. Inhaling up and down and up and down. A light resistance so that you can feel how the shoulder blades remain stable as they rotate against the surface of the ribs. And when you finish the last one, shake your arms out and find your dumbbells, please. Same thing with the dumbbells. If you have some options weight-wise, please consider using a lighter, right? A lighter weight. So we're going to have the arms by the sides. I'll give you a little bit of a side view. And I'd like you to eventually stand on your left leg, right? So I'll give you both views. I'll shuffle. We're going to do 8 of these guys. We're going to keep the chest open and ground through the length of the arms. And on an inhale breath, pick up the right leg. We're referencing the big toes. On an exhale breath, bend your standing leg and inhale, straighten it. On your exhale breath, bend your standing leg, slide your spine down the wall, and on your inhale, straighten it. Moving through your set of 8. Now, your left leg and ankle and foot potentially are going to get tired. That's fine. But if you find that you're unable to stabilize the movement, that's a good reason to reduce your set number. Weight of the shoulders lightly supported, not crushing into the back of the neck, not floating up into the ears. Last couple of repetitions. And one more. Foot goes down, right? And you can put your weights down if you like. I like to take a little breather and just do little circles over the standing leg, the one you were just standing on. Go the other way as well. And then before we do the other side, widen your stance and we push the hips forward, take them off to the right, around to the back, and then stretching into the left outer hip. From here, reverse, take hips to the back, out to the right, and forward. Do that one more time. Take hips to the right, a little hinge here as you take them back, and then lining it up, gently press into the stretch of the IT band, the glute med, and then back, reversing the course of your circle. And we stand on the new side. Find your dumbbells. All right. So stabilizing the shoulders against the weight of the dumbbells and keeping the arms gently grounded along with the legs. We'll inhale, reference the big toes, and pick up the new foot. On the exhale, bend your standing leg. On your inhale, straighten it. Sliding your spine down the wall and back up. So not only paying attention to big toes, but tracking through both inner thighs into the hips. The side where the leg is lifted, you want to watch that the pelvis is tracking along with the side that you're standing on, right? So no twist or no drop. 3 more. And when you've done your last one, foot goes down, maybe dumbbells go down. And we just do a little swivelly here. I'm sorry, I know I've gotten a message from one of you, so I'm just going to check. Okay. Go the other way as well. Well, once we've shaken out that foot, that was a lot of work. We're going to go ahead and widen our stance. And that was too wide. And do the same thing we did to the other side in terms of stretching the outer hip. So we'll shift the weight of the pelvis forward to the toes, take it out to the left, around to the back, and then grounded, we gently stretch into the outer right hip and then reverse it. Ease in the shoulders and the hips and the low back. Do that one more time. Hips start to the left, circle to the back, and gently move towards stretch and release. Okay, returning to our legs, and for a moment eliminating a lot of the weightlifting work through the shoulders. Let's find lateral rotation. We're going to work in a second position, so quite likely you'll need to open the heels apart and then open the toes apart, finding that final lateral rotation. And if you can, have hands either gently in front of the body or potentially out to the sides. If you need balance support, it's fine. Prepare with an exhale, expanding across the chest. And then on the inhale, bend into the knees, releasing the hips, retaining vertical posture. Exhale, press, stretch down equally through the bottoms of the feet, the crown of the head. We do 6. Inhaling, bend into the knees, heels centered and toes grounded. Sides of the body long and firm through the sides of the waist. The weight of the arms and the shoulders carried lightly on the top of the ribs. Last 2, please. And last one. When you've done your last one, put your left hand down, bring your right arm up, and then bend toward the left side, stretching from the right fingertips down the arm and shoulder into the waist, into the outer hip and thigh. Return from this, right arm down. Maybe you have a surface you can put it on. If not, you can put it on your hip. And we'll exhale and bend in the other direction. Try not to twist the spine as you do this and feel like the curve continues through the up and down alignment of the tail without pause or interruption. Lower your left arm and then go ahead and swivel inward, lunging one more time with the right leg to the back. Should feel nice for your calf. We are going to return to second position in a moment. Before we do that, bring your right arm up. We take another bend and stretch to the left side, approaching it from parallel hips. Swivel back through center and turn to the other side with the left leg lunging back. And then lift left arm up and bend once more to the right. Come on up and return. Bring your feet underneath you. Find your dumbbells, please. So we're going to do a couple of things here. One, standing on one leg with an overhead press, and then another thing in both legs in second position. Just to let you know that there is an end to the arm work, but we're not there yet. So standing on both legs, get your balance between them. Bring your arms up to your shoulders and ground there. And then on an inhale breath, as you reference both big toes, I'd like you to peel your right foot from the ground and lift it up in space. We're going to attempt 6 overhead presses with the arms. On the exhale, inhale, lower. As we hold vertical neutral posture. Steady in the balance of the leg. Halfway through. One more. And then put the foot down, have a wide stance, and roll forward through the spine. Bend deeply into your knees, rest your chest or belly toward your thighs, nod yes, shake no, and move through the shoulders. When you're ready to roll up, ground through your feet, keep springy bent legs, and push into the ground as you unfurl the spine. We're going to go directly into standing on the right leg with another set of 6 through the overhead presses. Good for your deltoids, good for shoulder mobility and stability. Hands up near the shoulder tops, already set there. And then referencing big toes, inhale, peel your other foot from the ground. We stand on one leg and exhale, stretch the arms upward. Inhale and lower. And we're going for 6. Not triggering the base of the neck or really anywhere along the spine. And if you find that happening, it's a good reason to shorten your range of motion or reduce the amount of weights. Last 2. And last 1. Foot goes down, shake out your arms. And we're going to come into a wide position. In fact, you can put your dumbbells down. And just take a full circle around. A couple, 3 times in one direction. And then a couple, 3 times in the other. We want to feel that the hips have a nice degree of warmth and looseness in them so that we can come into our second position and hold it. So widen the heels, rotate laterally from the hips and set your stance. Just one dumbbell, please. Well, you can use two if you like. Have the dumbbell in your right hand and place the hand up near the shoulder. Have your bottom hand, with or without the weight, against your low belly, and make sure that you've got lift and support inside. We're going to bring the right arm up, hand behind the head, and elbow opening wide. Now, exhale, bend into the knees 8 times. We're going to inhale and bend to the left. And then on the exhale, contract right side of the waist to return to balance and length. Inhale and exhale. It is possible to do all of this without ever touching the muscles at the side of the waist. If you need to put your hand there, we want to feel contraction in those obliques to bring us back up instead of a push from the neck or the shoulder or from the leg. Last two. Last one. Gently ease the hand down to the shoulder, the arm down, and stretch the legs. Return to parallel. And if you like, you can repeat a couple of lazy circles. We're going to go into the other side. No surprises. Okay. Returning to our lateral position. Weight now in the other hand, up near the shoulder, bottom hand against the pelvis or maybe the waist. We begin to sneak that left arm up behind the head and open the elbow out to the side. Exhale, bend into the knees. Find your feet, reference your big toes. And as you inhale, bend to the right, Kegel. And exhale, return to center. 8, please. The bottom of your hips sitting in a level, quiet position, as though you have a stool or chair underneath you. Contract left side of the waist. And there's always a body half that's a little bit the slow sister, yeah? When you've done your last one, sneak the hand down, lower the arm, stretch the legs, parallel, dispense with the weights, and do a little bit of a sway, a swivel. Put your feet underneath you, and I keep checking the time here. I know some of you have to leave a little bit early. We are going to continue into some good mornings. If you need to dip out now, pause for a moment, breathe, and then go on with the rest of your day, and I'll see you next time. If you're sticking around for the good mornings, you want space in front of you and arms by your sides. Of course, you can always have a ball between the knees. We are going to allow the knees to have a little bit of bend. Make sure you're engaging your quads. On the inhale breath, tilt forward from the waist. Allow your arms to hang in gravity. On your exhale, use your glutes to extend your hips. Continue. Six of these. Two more. Begin to notice proprioceptively that moment when everything is ta-da in balance. And pause. Now, the next thing, if you want to have a hand on the bar, you can do that. If you're going to use a hand on the bar, let's go ahead and have it be the right hand. So what I'd like to do is essentially bird dog here, and all quick and dirty. You're going to tilt forward, standing on the left leg, reaching right leg back and left arm forward, right? If you're able to, We'll take both arms forward and we do 6 of these. Pay attention, prepare with exhale. And on your inhale, reach. I'm running into things. Exhale, return. Let's try again. Count your own 6. Inhale and exhale. Last one or two. And when you've done that side, shake out your arms. Pardon me. Roll your shoulders a couple of times and then move them forward into the chest and back. And get ready for the other side. Standing on your right leg, freely moving through the arms. We're going to tilt forward and kick the left leg behind, extending right arm or both arms potentially forward. And exhale, coming upright, reaching that balance point. Inhale and exhale. Last one or two. Stand on your legs and shake your shoulders out. We're going to stretch both legs back. We're not going to do push-ups. We are simply going to breathe and a little bit of a tilt. Taking the legs behind, don't make it extreme. Probably don't do this from the ground. We just want to add a tiny bit of weight into the shoulder girdle, like we did when we were standing and doing these other things, right? A tiny bit. That tiny bit of weight helping us to sense when the shoulders are resting in a connected place into the core, into the legs. Or potentially to correct when the shoulders are floating and disconnected or bearing down and compressed, right? Inhale, reference the big toes. And as you exhale, reference the inner thighs. Feel everything lining up through length and gentle activation. As you continue to breathe, do that same little balancing trick through the sides of the waist, through the halves of the ribs, through the work of the arms in the side, the stable shoulders, releasing the base of the neck, the length of your spine. One more breath in and out. And then inhale, focus your eyes. Exhale, push back, widen your stance, and pull your hips back as you bend your knees, stretching through the sides of the waist and the interior of the shoulders. Nod your head yes, and turn your head no. We cat-cow the spine here, exhaling to round from the bottom to the top, adjusting with the legs, don't lock into any place. And hold the curve, inhale, unshrugging the shoulders. Exhale, lengthen through neutral, bottom to top. and potentially begin to extend forward and upward through the top of the chest. Let that go and allow your head to dangle down to the ground. You can prop your elbows or your hands on your thighs or hands on your shins. Let your chest or belly hang toward the legs and nod yes. Shimmy the shoulders, put weight in your feet, springiness in your legs. And on the exhale, push off the ground, roll up through the spine, bring your feet underneath you, focus your gaze forward. One more breath in and out. And that's it for today, you guys. Good job. I'm going to turn the recording off.